right, bloop's done. If you don't bloop, it doesn't work. Today, I'm going to tell you, by the way, Joe Passion Unchained here. Bam! Check it out. The key to living your passion is to learn business. Learn how to monetize, learn how to get money for your passions. That is how you live an awesome life. I'll talk more about how to monetize passions in other videos. I have to look, I'm fine, I'll just look to the right because I want to set my laptop right here next time. That way I can not have to look to the right and like ignore you guys, but for now I will. This video is just about why it's important to, and in the end, it's really the key to living passionately. And in the next video, I'm going to list 10 weird things that people have monetized because they're passionate about it and they make their living on it and it's exciting. So I'm excited for that next video, which will be out tomorrow. But yeah, everyone has passions and everyone has things they like doing. And if you don't know what you like doing, then you can find that out by exploring. I have a whole, if you go on my channel, there's a playlist called The Craftsman's Code, which is how to explore and find out things you like. I also have another vlog more recently that talks about that. I forgot what it's called, but I personally like paddleboarding, bookbinding, woodworking, using laser cutters, taking photos, running, going to the gym, traveling, and a ton of other things. And right now I'm working on monetizing photography because it's easier. You don't necessarily have to pick something easy. I'm picking something easy. Photography is easy to monetize because people already know they want it or not. But all the other things are monetizable. Like I like doing Rubik's Cubes. I could make a course on how to do Rubik's Cubes and sell that on Udemy, and that would be monetizable. That I could make a lot of money on if I wanted to. And I might at one point. I don't know. But in today's world, we have to spend money to get our needs met. Our needs for shelter, for food, for entertainment, etc. And some people see this as a bad thing, but in the end, it's freaking awesome. And I'll explain why. Imagine a world without money. Imagine you live in this society out of time that does not use money. They've never invented money. You want to go see a movie. You go up to the ticket counter and you're like, I'm a photographer. Excuse me, sir. How many photos would I have to take for you in order for me to earn a ticket to go into your theater? I'm going to barter with you, right? Money hasn't been invented. I can't be like, here's 10 units and you're asking 10 units of money for a seat in your theater. Here's 10 units that I've earned by taking photos for somebody else. Give me a seat to your theater, right? You can't do that because money's not invented. You have to be like, you have to direct barter. So it's like, okay, sir, I want to get a seat in your theater. Can you give me a seat in your theater? And then he's like, yes, but I want 5 photos from you. And it's like, well, that's kind of complicated. Then you have to like, when are you going to do the photos? You're going to do the photos now. If you're going to do the photos now, like maybe that's not the best time. Maybe there's an event they're doing later, or maybe the theater is the theater is about to open, and like if you're doing the photos now, like you don't have time to edit, so it's unedited, and then there's just so much complicatedness with this direct barter system. So it's complicated. And then what would happen if the last guy, the guy who got a ticket right before you, what if he was a photographer too? Well, now they don't need photos. So you're shit out of luck to be like, yeah, I'm sorry, we don't need photos. What else do you have to offer? And you're like, well, I have like a bunch of, I just traded for like a dozen apples in my car. Would a dozen apples be worth one ticket? Like, and then it's just like, okay, maybe a dozen apples would be worth, what kind of apple? It's like this whole bartering system that would just be complicated as fuck. So because we're humans and we're smart and we like things to work better and easier, we created this token system called money, where it's like, okay, I'm going to take photos for person A, and person A is going to give me several tokens, right? So I get, say, 1,000 tokens for a photo shoot, for like a short photo shoot or like a medium photo shoot. I get 1,000 tokens from this one guy, from person A, and then I'm like, okay, so there's 1,000 tokens. And then I go to the theater and I'm like, well, they're like, okay, I want a seat. How many tokens do I give you for a seat? And they're like, okay, a token for this theater at this time, or a seat at this theater for this theater, this movie at this time is 12 tokens. Do you have 12 tokens? I'm like, sure, here's 12 tokens. And then I go into the movie theater. All that money is an intermediary set of value. It's like an abstract unit that we use to make bartering easier, where it's like, I don't have to direct barter thing for thing, good or service for good or service. I have an intermediate. I have a thing in the middle where it's like good or service for tokens, tokens for good or service. And that makes me able to trade anything for anything without any complication, because we each say like, I want X tokens for my thing, and then people can say yes or no. And then if you set the price too high, then nobody will buy it, and you'll have to set it lower or go out of business. If you set the price too low, then you won't be able to pay your expenses, and you have to set it higher or you go out of business. So it's kind of like a self-regulating thing. That's the free market. It's pretty freaking cool. So everything is so much simpler. And now I'm going to go back to the original question, is how do you follow your passion? Well, in life, we have to get a certain amount of tokens in order to pay our expenses, right? If we're not getting those tokens from investment, which I think is a long-term solution, is investing. But say we're not at that point yet, we still need to get consistent income in from our efforts. Then what we have to do is we have to spend time creating a service and giving value to other people in exchange for their tokens. I'm use tokens instead of money because it's easier to understand. So people give us tokens. We create skill. We have skill. We put it out into the market, either in a job or directly to consumers or to other businesses or whatever. We're like, I'm offering this. For me, it's like, I'm offering photography. Maybe a yoga teacher is like, I'm offering yoga instruction. It's like, I'm offering X. How do I offer it to enough people so that I get tokens, so that I can use those tokens to pay for my rent, to pay for my food, to pay for my health insurance, to pay for all these things, and to invest so that over the long term I can just get money without trading my service, but by multiplying the money that I have, by letting my money be used by others for a small fee, right? Letting my tokens be used by others. That's another thing I can talk about. I'm not there yet, but I understand the concepts very well, so I can explain it to you. And I'm on my way there. So the key is we have to create a service. We have to create something that we're doing that other people value, and that other people are like, you know what? I really want photos from Joe. I would rather have a photo shoot from Joe than 1,000 tokens. Like, a photo shoot from Joe is worth more than 1,000 tokens. Let me give Joe my 1,000 tokens so that I can get his photo shoot. And that makes me happy because I like this trade. And I'm like, you know what? I love photo shooting. I love taking photos of somebody and getting the best out of them. So I like getting these 1,000 tokens in exchange for me focusing on them, right? And now I've just explained why it's important to have a job or to have a business or to do any of to get money, right? But I didn't explain yet why it's important to follow your passion and why monetization is the perfect way to follow a passion and live your life passionately. But right now I'm going to. So hold your horses, hold your hats, excite yourselves, and get your notebooks out and write some notes, because Uncle Joe here is going to give you some value bombs. All right, you ready? You ready? Pause if you're not, but if you are ready, then don't pause. Keep watching. You're going to spend a lot of time honing your craft. If you have a business, marketing, telling people, networking. If you're doing a job, then you're going to spend a lot of time doing the job and also honing your craft and working with others on your team. So whether you have a job or a business, you're going to spend most of your waking hours doing that. A vast majority, most likely, of your waking hours, until maybe you streamline everything and it gets easier. But at first, you're going to spend the vast majority of your waking hours doing the thing that gets you money, right? Why not love it? Why not make that thing something you love, right? I am a photographer. I spend a lot of time taking photos, editing them, doing marketing, and putting value out there on the internet, and then linking people to my portfolio. People see my portfolio, and then they want to book me, right? putting stuff on Instagram, curating my Instagram, curating my portfolio, putting my link out there on Reddit and Facebook groups and stuff, and in my profiles so that people can look at my profile and then click on those things, right? So that is something, one of the things I like doing, and I've decided that because I'm going to spend most of my waking hours trying to get money, at least at this point in my life, then why not do something I love? First of all, I'm going to be excited to do it. Second of all, I'm going to put a lot of effort and energy into it, and third of all, that means I'm going to get a lot better at it. And if I'm a lot better at it, then people will be willing to give me more tokens for my services. And if people are willing to give me more tokens for my services, then I can be more free, right? So if you do something you don't really like for me, I was doing programming at one point. I had a month contract, and I was so frustrated that I kicked a hole in my door over there. It's still there. I need to repair it. I kicked a hole in my door, in my bathroom door, because I was so frustrated by programming. I hated it so much, and I had skill in it, but I became very discouraged, and so I would find ways to dilly-dally. I'd have my phone there while I was doing programming, and I'd have my phone there. I would self-medicate with food. I would eat more than I needed to eat, and I would kind of snack all the time because I was losing energy doing something I hated doing on this. While I was doing this for money, but then I was just it just frustrated me and made me feel really bad. And so I put forth lackluster quality. And I actually made a lot of coding mistakes and wasn't a super good asset to the team, if I'm being honest. I was kind of a shitty asset to the team. I mean, I filled a spot. I did give. I would say I probably gave more than I took, but not by much. I wasn't a huge asset to the team because I hated every moment of it, and I did what I could to distract myself from my work, and so I wasn't doing efficient work at all. I wasn't productive at all. It's really shitty, actually, because I hated doing it. And it lowered the quality of my life. The people that hired me would have done a much better job hiring somebody who likes programming. So in the end, it was kind of immoral of me to do something I didn't like, because I ended up bringing the team down. And in the end, we didn't it was a contract that could have turned into a full-time position, and it was not 100% my fault, but it was a big portion of the fault that we didn't get the contract. Because I kind of brought the team down, if I'm being quite honest, because I was doing something I didn't like doing, and I made my work very inefficient and tried to drag it on and just get money. I was well, I could do this in an hour, but let me take 2. I didn't think that consciously, but I was just kind of stretching it out and whatever, because I just hated doing it. So if you're doing something you hate or that you're indifferent to, you're not going to bring yourself to it. You're going to be distracted during your work, and you're going to cut your quality of life down so that when you're not doing work, you're going to have to spend a lot of time self-medicating and trying to get yourself back to an even-keeled level, because you're depleting your emotional battery by doing this thing you don't like to do. But if you love doing it, then you're going to fill your emotional battery by doing it, which makes you better at it, which makes you more involved, more excited, more focused, and that makes your product much higher quality, and then more people are willing to pay you more money, give you more tokens for your thing, and then everybody wins. So it's kind of a no-brainer to make money from your passion, whether it's a job or your own business. You can get a job doing what you love for somebody else. I don't think that's wrong. In fact, there's a lot of right to that, because then you don't have to worry about marketing, unless your passion is marketing. But if your passion is taking photos, you take photos for another company. Now you don't have to worry about marketing or sales or any of that. You just get to take photos. So you don't have to make your own business. It's not the only way to do things. I think it's a great way to do things. But just follow your passion, man. Let me see if I have anything else written. I kind of ad-libbed. That's why to follow your passion. But why to learn business is because even if you're working for somebody else, it's really important to understand how money works, how a business works, how people give money and receive goods or services, and give goods or services and receive money. And you learn sales, you learn marketing, you learn any of these things, and you're able to monetize anything you want. So that's really exciting. That's the key to living your passion, is to learn how to exchange money for it, how to do it and get money in return. In the next video, I'm going to go over 10 things that you can do 10 things that other people have done that are kind of weird and out there, that have made them a good living just because they figured out how to monetize it, just because they figured out how to advertise and market and sell, and they learned some business and they made their passion into reality. And I'm going to do that to inspire you and show you that you can make money doing whatever. So wish you the best. Excited for that. And subscribe if you want to, like if you want to, and don't if you don't. Cheers.